Yo, welcome to Royal Kingdom. It's your boy Bobby Kings, your African best reactor. Thank you so much for joining me today. I truly appreciate it. It's your first time. Don't forget to subscribe. Welcome to the Royal family. This is a Royal gang, bro. So actually today we are doing something a bit different to relax, Yeah, enjoy life and understand that the world sometimes. So this reaction today is about a family known as the Demochet family from the United States reacting to my country, Kenya. Yes, my country, Kenya. I hope I answer some questions if they have any, and also to know how the world views about my country because I don't know the video is made by who and the amount of research that he has done about my country. So, yeah, let's do this.
What's good, y'all? It's the Democrats React, and we're back with another video. Who we got today, C?
Demochets. Okay.
Today we're back with another American reaction. Super excited about this video, guys. If you're new to us and we're new to you, make sure you scroll down, hit that subscribe button, and turn on the post notification bell because we're on the road to 100K. And we cannot get there without you guys, all right? Join the family. Without further ado, let's get into the video.
Hey, Ken!
Yeah?
Yeah, dig this episode?
You're gonna be doing this the entire episode, aren't you?
Yeah, you want to get paid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, then act surprised every time that comes up in a script.
Oh, that's so funny. Wow. I totally see what you did there.
That is funny.
It's time to
They
leave.
joke out.
Corny jokes.
Yeah, they be
Everyone, I'm
joked
your host,
out.
Barbs. We are back in Africa, and I'm sure you've heard of at least a little bit about Kenya, whether it's where your Starbucks brew was imported from, or if you've seen those jumping Maasai people, or if you want to make another cliche Obama joke. Kenya seems to take the spotlight most in East Africa. It's made a name for itself. Now let's see where it is. The name Kenya is roughly derived from the words of various dialects meaning God's resting place. And when you see what's going on, you'll understand why. First of all, Kenya is located in East Africa, transected in the south by the
God resting place. Yeah, some say that, but it's come from different tribes because they're also Kenya where it means a plateau or ostrich. You don't know which tribe came up. Is it the Kikuyu or the Kamba? I don't know which they used because in the Kamba tribe, Kenya means two things: either a plateau or ostrich. Where they were long distance traders, where they used to cross the plateaus. They were crossing, doing their long distance businesses from Central all the way maybe to Mombasa, not maybe to Mombasa, to the coast. And yeah, there is always a plain and plateau. They used to call that Kenya. Also, ostriches are called Kenya. I don't know. Maybe it's true. I don't know where he got that information from.
equator, surrounded by 5 countries, with a decent-sized coast along the largest lake in Africa, Lake Victoria, as well as the Indian Ocean to the east. The country is divided into 47 semi-autonomous counties, with the capital and largest city, Nairobi, which has its own county in itself. The largest cities after Nairobi would be Mombasa and Nakuru. However, the busiest airports would be the three in Nairobi, Jomo Kenyatta, Mombasa's Moi International, and Eldoret International. As mentioned in the Ethiopia episode, they have a dispute over the Elemi Triangle with Ethiopia and South Sudan, as well as the incredibly packed Migingo Island.
Wow, we have a dispute with Ethiopia about a border. I was clueless, to be honest. I was clueless. I didn't know about that at all. And definitely most of us don't know about it.
In Lake Victoria, where over 130 people live on only 2,000 square meters of space. Why do they all stay there? Couldn't they?
You saw that image of all those houses?
Yeah, it's like they was all on top of one another. Like
yes, how is that possible? 130 something people.
That life must be a little bright island, like real bright at night.
Must be a whole family. Everybody know everybody.
Everybody know everybody for real.
just spread out to the bigger adjacent Usingo Island with much more space? Shut up! That's why! Transport in Kenya is pretty developed compared to the other African states. Railway service runs between the coastal Mombasa all the way to the border of Uganda. Roads connect to virtually all their neighbors, a ton going into Tanzania, Uganda, and Somalia, whereas the two main ones that enter South Sudan and Ethiopia are the A1 and A2. Nairobi is cool because it's the only city in the world with a national park and game reserve. Some parts only 7 kilometers from downtown, giving this unorthodox view of wild animals juxtaposed to cityscapes in the background. Anyway, some areas of interest throughout Kenya might include places like the National Peace, Love, Unity, and Silver Jubilee Monument.
He has said so much when it comes to having the national park. Most of the people confuse having a national park in the city with having wild animals roaming in the streets, which is very wrong. There is a specific place a few kilometers from the city where, yeah, there is a national park. It's not within the city, but it's close to the city.
The Jomo Kenyatta statue, the Giraffe Center and Giraffe Manor Hotel, where you can literally have giraffes come up.
I heard of this hotel on
Yo,
TikTok.
the fact that it's a hotel.
Yes, I would love to wake up to a giraffe.
Different. That is
Yes.
too tight.
I
mean,
don't
like,
know.
you literally wait. Look at the giraffes, like,
All right,
waking
Kenya.
up in the morning feeding a giraffe for breakfast. That's the
The
vibe.
kids would love that.
Kids would definitely love that.
To you, Bomas of Kenya, the ruins of Gedi, Narni, Takwa Milinga, Dani, Pate, and Shaka. See you in Lamu Fort, Uhuru Gardens Memorial Park, Hyrax Prehistoric Site and Museum, Nairobi Gallery, African Heritage House, the Carnivore Restaurant, the Nairobi
Damn, there are some coast some coast places he has named, trust me. Hey gosh. I feel that as if I don't know my own country anymore. Yeah. I just know like Fort Jesus, Gedi, and the mosque and Lamu. I think that is all I've visited. Wow.
Railway Museum, George Adamson's grave, Kitengela, Iten, home of the champions, and the Maasai ostrich farm where you can ride ostriches if you are not too heavy. However, that list
I wouldn't do that.
pales in comparison to the natural wonders Kenya is known for. Which means we gotta transition into the next part. Hey, Ken!
What's up?
Yeah, guess what comes up next?
Dude, it's the same thing in every episode.
Nah,
I'm
he
pretty
ain't
sure
trying
they
to
know what's
get
going
paid,
to happen
Okay,
next.
okay, Ken, I'm really getting sick of your sass. Okay, I cannot stand it.
Okay, that
Cannot.
was good.
It was good. Some countries thrive off of industry, some off of finance. Kenya's strongest feature, though, would downright have to be its natural landscape. First of all, Kenya lies right on the East African Rift, which, as we explained,
Wow. One thing I've learned that he has really done his research when it comes to this country, and which is a good thing in one way or another. Most of the people just say some things I see online about my country, and I'm like, definitely this is not us. Definitely.
East African Rift, which, as we explained in the Eritrea and Ethiopia episodes, is the series of cracks in East Africa that splits all the way down from the Red Sea to Mozambique, creating highlands in the west and flatter savannas and valleys in the east along the coast. This also creates a wonderful network of narrow, slivery lakes, like the largest one, Lake Turkana, in the northwest, along the border with Ethiopia. Lake Turkana is the world's largest desert lake, and due to its salinity, the world's largest alkaline lake as well. This means that Kenya
That's
is
some real alkaline water.
Yeah.
zone, although most of the volcanoes
Okay.
are all but Holocene and extinct. The last major eruption was around 100 years ago on Amuruango Golak in the central West Highlands. However, at over 5,100 meters, the volcanic activity did create the largest mountain in Kenya and the second
That's
in
a
North
nice
Africa,
looking mountain.
Kenya, which is where Kenya got its name from. Oh, and Mount Longonot looks kind of creepy because it has like 3 mini crater pimples on the side. Close by the base of Mount Kenya, you can find the longest river, the Tana, that flows down to the valleys and eventually empties into the Indian Ocean. Kenya has 54 national parks and game reserves, the largest one being the Tsavo in the southeast. However, the most popular one being the Maasai Mara
Wait a
along the border.
minute, that's just hitting me right now. We have 54 national parks? I know like 10 or 15. 10 to 15. Savo East, Savo West, Amboseli, Nairobi National Park. Jesus Christ. God. I don't want to embarrass myself online.
border with Tanzania, technically part of the Serengeti. Here, the Great Migration occurs, in which every July, the largest animal migration on Earth moves millions of nomadic species up to Kenya from Tanzania. It's such a hotspot that even National Geographic is like so over it. They've covered it like 1 trillion times. Speaking of which, Kenya is, no surprise, a wildlife haven. The big 5 animals are common around here, one of which being the national animal, the African lion, and they can be found at almost every national park. There are way too many species to list, but basically almost every animal in the Lion King can be found in Kenya, let alone East Africa. And yes, wildebeest can be kind of like total douchebags.
Who are wildebeest again?
They're the ones that killed Mufasa.
Not Mufasa. No.
Oh no, yeah.
No.
The dad.
Oh yeah, no, that is because Scar's the bad guy.
Why does it sound like us?
Yeah, it does, right?
Resource-wise, Kenya is a country of balance. Today, the service sector and tourism contributes to over 60% of their overall GDP, making it their largest foreign exchange earning sector. Agriculture has always been a principal driving force for Kenya as well. Today, they are the 3rd largest tea producer in the world after China and India. Yeah, way to go, Kenya. Speaking of which, food in Kenya is similar to other African Great Lake nations. Most meals are served with the national staple ugali, which is mashed grain powder, often mixed with cassava or plantains, cooked into a thick, starchy, bland paste.
Oh wait, how did he just explain ugali? What? In the name of explanation is that?
Mashed grain powder, often mixed with cassava or plantains, cooked into a thick, starchy, bland paste. You're supposed to eat it with stews and sauces.
It's not even a paste. It's more of a ball.
And meats, otherwise sukuma wiki or greens, usually accompany ugali at every meal. Bueno and dalia are common, and if you're lucky, try some onyoso, nyen, and dede for snacks. By the way, have you ever noticed that a ton of sub-Saharan African tribes have like amazing teeth? What's
We had this conversation.
Yeah, we had this conversation before.
You seen the grasshoppers, right?
Yes, the grasshoppers and the ants.
Told you, ants. They had ants too.
Yeah, they had ants.
That was ants. That was some huge ants.
See, when we come.
No, that was not ants, it was termites. They come during the rainy season, and it's not every community that eats them. It's specific communities.
Guys, again, we don't know when we come to Kenya, because this is like our first real introduction other than the homes of Kenya. But man, I try everything once. I do.
Nah, I think it's going.
Y'all gonna have to sugarcoat it for me.
Nah, not just that. Y'all gonna have to surprise her with it. Just throw
don't
it
tell
in
what
the
it
dish and be
is.
like, yo, try this for one. Like, put a whole bunch on the sides. If she knows what it is, she's not gonna eat it. I think anybody's kind of like that. Like, if you second guess the whole nature of, the stuff and chew part.
Right.
You're like,
But tell us how y'all eat it.
Right, like.
One thing I can tell them is that no matter, let me put it this way, you will not find those things in any hotel or being cooked in the streets. Those are foods for specific communities and for a specific season, I think, most of the time. So you'll find them rarely. The grasshoppers, it's rarely. Actually, I've never. I think when I was a kid, there was we tried that as kids, but not mature people. Us trying to cook, but I've never seen someone cook those. But I've seen someone fry termites. Yeah, when I used to visit the village, when we go for Christmas, Christmas, and my cousins, which was very sweet. And trust you me, I'm an adult, but trust you me, if I get a chance to fry it again, I'll still eat it again. Yeah.
Y'all eat it just how it is, or y'all add something to us?
Is it his own dish?
Yeah.
I want to know.
Mostly because a lot of them use chewing sticks, which are twigs from various trees like licorice bush, gum trees, and the Salvador persica, also known as the toothbrush tree. These twigs have natural teeth cleaning and whitening properties. You can even buy them on Amazon. Overall, Kenya is seen as like the financial hub for both East and Central Africa, as they have the highest GDP in the region, famous for their newly established digital industry, including the introduction of M-Pesa, mobile banking systems used by millions of people across the world. Kenyans are also famous for their interesting investment groups known as chama, or table banking. It's a little hard to explain, but it's basically like a crude version of banking bank loans, but it's operated by a community of friends that you really trust. It's like, all right, boys, put your money on the table. All right, cool. So this is all the money we got. You can grab as much as you want, but you got to explain what you're going to use it for and how you're going to invest and how you're going to pay off on interest next month. Ken, go.
I'm gonna take $5,000. There's these new shoes that I'm trying to vet, but get this, it's made out of coffee.
Okay, Ken, you're out of the club. No, but seriously, check out this. Like,
No, it doesn't. Okay, yeah, I'm trying to understand him trying to explain that, but it really doesn't understand. It doesn't really work that way. It's, oh God, how it's hard to explain. It's a group of friends who trust each other come together, do monthly contribution or weekly contributions or daily contribution of a certain amount. Most of them give the amount to a specific person, and then no, actually that is merry-go-round. The chamas, oh God, it's hard to explain.
Joy Wall organization. I'll put a link in the description. They did a great job explaining. Kenyan people are definitely an entrepreneurial bunch of people that have made a name for themselves. Let's see how in... If East Africa was a family, Kenya would be like the brother who got rich but still has some weird issues in his head that he kind of has to suppress. First of all, the country has about 49 million people, and about 3/4 of the population is below 30 years of age. The country is made up of about 47 different tribes. However, the majority of these tribes are classified under the Bantu peoples at 67%, the Nilotic peoples at around 30%, and the remainder is made up of other groups, mostly Cushitic, Arabs, Indians, and Europeans. Of the Bantu peoples, however, the largest tribes would be the Kikuyu, the Luya, and the Kamba, whereas the largest Nilotic groups would be the Kalenjin and the Luo. The country also uses the Kenyan shilling as their currency. They use the Type G British-style plug outlet, and they drive on the left side of the road. Basically, there is no single Kenyan culture, but rather a plethora of vibrant tribes, each with their own unique traits, trades, and traditions. For example, some of the overarching summaries I've gotten from you guys, the Kenyan geographies, include descriptions like: the Kikuyu are often known for being good businessmen. The Luya are good at rugby. The Luos take politics and music very seriously, and they're very proud that Obama's dad was from their tribe. The Kisi are the tough tea farmers. The Kalenjin are the runners, as 75% of all Olympic gold medal athletes have come from them, mostly in running sports. The Kamba are great pottery and carving artists. The Turkana have those really long beaded...
Wow, I love how accurate this one is. Yeah, he did his research right. It's so accurate.
necklaces that stretch their necks. The Meru moved from Tanzania and might be a lost tribe of Israel. The Rendile are desert nomads. The Idako have a cool dance and are known for bullfighting. The Mijikenda live in a sacred forest where they bury these secret talisman things that I didn't have time to research. Hey, Ken!
Nope, not doing it this time.
No, I'm not making a pun. I literally just want to ask you something.
Oh, okay.
Can you research the Mijikenda tribe for me? Laugh or you're fired. But the most...
Mijikenda is specifically like, it's a one big community with like sub tribes in it, because they came from a same man who married 9 wives. Mijikenda means 9 villages, so every wife had a village.
famous and well-documented tribe would probably be the Maasai. Semi-nomadic herders found in both Tanzania and Kenya, largely in touch with their ancient traditions, known for their svelte, tall bodies, unique customs, high-jumping dances, wearing this thing known as a shuka cloth, which comes in various patterns, usually with red or blue on it. I bought this when I was in Tanzania. I never actually thought I would use it for anything, but 10 years later. Although dozens of languages exist, in Kenya there are 2 official languages, English and Kiswahili. Kiswahili is estimated to be spoken by about 100 million people all across East Africa, and it is the only African language in the African Union. Many words are actually influenced from Arabic, as Arabic merchants and slave traders came in at the turn of the first millennium. In fact, the word Swahili comes from the Arabic word Swahil, which means coasts. Kenyan Kiswahili is known for being quite brash and blunt, whereas the Tanzanians are polite and proper. For example, a Tanzanian might say...
Oh, before we even go in, it just seems like there's a lot of different similarities between Tanzania and Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like there was some sort, and I'm just saying this just because of what I'm hearing. Were they a part of the same? Was it once together?
That togetherness, was that a thing?
Yes, it just seems like a lot of similarities in the cultures and the things that they do.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. Yeah. Drop that in the comments.
What I say, Kenya and Tanzania, we have been, like you said, big brother, young brother, and we were not colonized. Kenya was colonized by Britain, Great Britain, so they call themselves, but Tanzania was colonized by German. The most amazing thing about Tanzania makes their Swahili more polite. They are polite in nature, first of all. Second of all, they did not inherit their colonial language. So they had to use Swahili as their national language. They use it until today. They don't speak English, nor do they speak German, although some of them understand English and German, but not German, but English. But most of them, like let's say over 90% speak, almost all of them speak Swahili because that is their national language, that is the language that they use every single day.
Naomba uniuzie maziwa, whereas a Kenyan might say nataka maziwa. Fun side note, the words Hakuna Matata are actually Swahili. However, the opening lyrics of the Lion King Circle of Life song are actually Zulu from South Africa. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Na tsingonya magichi baba, siongoko ba, ingonyama nengwene mabala. Yeah, that's all Zulu. Today's scuffles and arguments still do occasionally occur between certain groups. However, it's not so bad, but let's be honest, it's still kind of noticeable. Most of the drama is underground, and they still work heavily off of a bribe culture. The average Kenyan pays about 16 bribes per month just to get by in small.
What? That's not true. That's not true. Because specifically it depends on what you do. Um, I haven't paid bribe for I don't know for many years. For what? I don't get into trouble. Why should I pay someone for what? Ah no, 16 it's too high. It's too high. It may be when you are in the public sector, yeah, that's a daily thing. Yeah, if you are public means of transport, you are the driver, you are the conductor, that's a daily stuff. But when the other things, not really that much, unless you are getting into a government office and yeah, you want your things to be processed fast. Americans call it, we call it bribe.
Small situations in daily life. They even have a word for it, kitu kidogo, which means small thing. Nonetheless, if there was a phrase that kind of summarized Kenya, it would probably be tibin, which translates to something like one last blow for triumph. And clearly it's been kind of a thing for Kenya as they become like a poster child for East Africa. Some famous people of Kenyan descent or from
TBM is a political slogan.
From Kenya might include Field Marshal Dedan Kimathi, Emekatili Wamenza, Mother of the Resistance, Uhuru Kenyatta, Charity Ngilu, John Kiriamiti, Ezekiel Kemboi, Kipchoge Keino, Lupita Nyong'o, Paul Tergat, Dennis Oliek, Victor Wanyama, David Matenge, aka Nameless, Stella Mwangi, Fadili William, Obama's dad, Wangari Maathai, Eric Wainaina, and probably the most famous one, Jomo Kenyatta, the father of Kenya. Alright, that was a lot of info. Now let's finish off this with some tibim and get to the last final segment.
That's to be Tanzania.
Kenya is kind of like the big shot of
Best
East
friend.
and to some extent Central Africa. Let's put it this way. People in Africa move to Kenya in hopes of getting a better life. First of all, Kenya was kind of like the shining jewel of the British East African colonies. They knew something was special about Kenya, so they introduced tea, they deliberately connected Mombasa with the West via railroad, and even after independence they remained part of the Commonwealth, and Brits make up the largest group of visitors and national citizens amongst the white Kenyan population. India has a lot of ties to Kenya as waves of immigrants were brought in by the British in the 19th century to build the Mombasa Railway. Some racial tensions existed, however, after both countries gained independence, they started to cooperate much better. Prime Minister Nehru gave support to Jomo Kenyatta. They have a technical and economic cooperation program. They offer over 100 scholarships specifically to Kenyans, and today India makes up the 6th largest trading partner. Their best friends, however, would probably be Ethiopia, Tanzania, and Uganda. For Ethiopia, the Kenyan Mau Mau rebel group operated in Ethiopia during the uprising years. They have a mutual defense agreement, especially against the greater Somalia ideologists living in South Ethiopia, and Kenyans trust them like a wise uncle. Tanzania and Uganda have healthy rivalries with Kenya, but ultimately the three are like the Great Lake kings that dominate Lake Victoria. All three speak Kiswahili, they understand and piggyback off of each other's cultures, they marry each other's citizens frequently, they love each other. In conclusion, even though they may not be the most populous or largest in area, East Africa kind of revolves around Kenya. Economic and political controversies aside, they just have that certain drive that makes them stick out. When it comes to pulling through, they sure can. Yeah, do it. Stay tuned. Kidder Bust is coming up next.
This guy is funny.
Man, bro, I just need a pencil and pad for this guy, bro, because he just going in on information. So we all know so far
Yes.
from watching Tanzania, is it called?
Kenya. This is Kenya.
Yeah, I know, but the
Yes,
one that is
yes.
really cool. Tanzania, the people that Tanzania is the ones that they're very close with. I noticed a lot of things happen with that. Yeah, and I think what was interesting was that the fact that they grew tea.
Yeah, I like
I know that
the
the toothbrush tree or
The
something like
sticks,
that.
yeah.
I called it a toothbrush tree.
yeah.
The
Like
one that
that.
can help whiten your teeth and help your teeth from germs and all that stuff. I think that's awesome. So again, a lot of great things is coming from Kenya. I think though once the tea thing popped off, money was really booming because everybody on the railroads was like pushing tea, and everybody's probably like buying tea from different spots.
Yeah.
Hey.
What I liked the most about it was I love the tribes. And I know guys, I know some of you like, I don't do that, don't talk about tribes. But I love when the culture.
No, that's not true. When a foreigner or someone who is not really uh, in Kenya or is not non-Kenyan, it's not offensive when you say tribe in any way. It only becomes an issue when now us as the citizens of within the country start identify. We love our tribes. Everybody is proud of his own tribe, but when it becomes political, nah, don't even go there, because the tribes has been used to divide Kenyans for a very long time. So if someone else says about it, or even if you're a foreigner, you come to someone and, yeah, which tribe are you from? And you are a foreigner, definitely switches, you want to understand more about him or them. But when now it becomes political, it's something different, really different.
Hold on to like the ancient stuff from the ancestors, things that has been passed on,
Yeah.
and not so much of like the urbanization and modern stuff, so I like that. We I believe we reacted to the Maasai tribe.
We
Maybe
have.
you did by yourself.
Did I by myself
Yeah, a
alone
long time ago.
on this channel
Yes, a long time ago
without you?
when I was pregnant.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so we love learning about, all of the rituals and meanings of the dances and things like that. So
Yeah.
we hope you guys enjoyed this video with us. Drop some links for the dances, homes, way of life, anything interesting about Kenya that you would like us to react to. Go in the description box to drop those links for us.
Facts.
Like this video, subscribe, turn on the post notification bell. We have enabled our super thanks if you like support the channel that way, as well as our join feature.
Whoa, that was a long one, bro. That was a long one. But anyway, yeah. I understand you know, people wanting to know about this country so much, and we love this country so much. It's one of the best. Is I always say no country is perfect, but it's the best place to be. If you wanna visit here, as the best sceneries, the best game parks, the best experience that you'll never have this anywhere else. Anyway, thank you so much. I hope I answered some of their questions. I really hope I did that. And yeah, also me, I feel that as if I was in class. There's some things I didn't know about this country. I didn't know we have a border issue with Ethiopia. I didn't know the Mau were had a peace treaty or whatever he called it with Ethiopia, because I just knew they were used to hide in Mount Kenya, the forest. We are not really taught much about our history. Learned so much about the history for UK, US, and very little about ourselves. You so if there is one thing I really wish we can learn more, it's our own history. And by the changing of the curriculum, I hope this will help us to have enlightened the next generation more about their culture and about their history, because there is no tree that grows without roots. It's not possible. Anyway, thank you so much for being with me. I truly appreciate it. Your first time, don't forget to subscribe. Welcome to the Royal family. This is the Royal gang, bro. It's your boy Bobby Kings. I tap out.